format. All right, greeting, folks. If you don't know me, my name's Phil Gallagher. I run ThrabenU University, a site for legacy, death, and taxes. If I want to play Magic locally, Modern is my best option currently, so I'm going to be playing occasional Modern leagues where I try to teach you some things, and I learn a lot of things from chat. I'm not familiar with Modern, but I'm really familiar with Flicker Wisp, so those two things probably balance out. I've changed a couple of cards from what I ran, what was it, like 2 nights ago? I cut one land for a Thalia Heretic Cathar in the main, which should be in the 3-drop slot. Then I changed the sideboard a little bit. I cut a Gideon for a Stony Silence, and I cut 2 Revokers for 2 Auriok Champions to just go and get some variety in like the effects that I have access to. I might even be able to drop down to 22 lands, but, you know, we're going to drop down 1 land at a time and kind of see how I'm going. Let's battle. Modern. Modern League, Modern D&D V2, let's fight. Yeah, I don't get how, like, Stoneforge Mystic is a bannable card in Modern. Alright, I'll mute myself for 1 second and watch. That was worth muting my audio for a couple of seconds for. Thank you for that. Pleasant Kenobi may not be the most like technical player in the world, but he is funny. I gave him some flack initially when I first saw his content, but I've come around to seeing he just does things very differently than how I do. Yeah, 008 mana. That's it, or 0088s. That's totally fine. Zadaris, not the biggest fan of that. It seems clunky to me personally. I won a die roll. I have a land with multiple disruptive elements. I will keep. I got a 4-1 with no idea what I was doing the other night. So let's see if we can keep that up. So one of my problems with Modern is I don't know the sequencing of these hate bears against like various cards that my opponent leads on. So like I don't know in a vacuum whether Thalia or Leonin Arbiter is a stronger play here. It's been going well, Innistrad Revenue Service. I moved into the new place in North Carolina. Still have a little bit longer before I start work. I think I lead on Thalia, since my opponent didn't make a turn 1 play. And then on my turn, I have sort of the surprise of Arbiter and Ghost Quarter You. Back when I was playing, Blackcleave Cliffs meant Jund. So it's possible I'm supposed to Thalia Heretic Cathar rather than Leonin Arbiter here. Because if I Leonin Arbiter, my opponent fetches in response, then they have 2 mana open and I can't actually Ghost Quarter them immediately. So I'm going to do this. Alright, what do you got going on, opponent? A run in 6. I thought I was getting away from this. I thought I was getting away from this by moving to modern. That makes my whole land destruction package way, way, way worse. Yeah, this sucks now. Oh, great! I found the only run in 6 decks. Awesome, awesome. I do still think I am supposed to Ghost Quarter. It just feels very bad. Keeps them from, like, blood braiding or something stupid like that. Well, this game's over. It's, definitely feels as bad as it does in Legacy. Oh, great. And our opponent has Baron more, too, so they can turn it into just, like, a card every turn when they're tired of making land drops. Strong. And an Ooze. Alright, that is a thing that does things. I could have considered playing Remorseful Cleric to nuke my own graveyard. To, like, keep the Ooze from getting bigger. But I want to try to catch this Baron more. Archmage, if you want to take a look at the deck list, click the Cardboard Live extension on screen on the left-hand side. You know, that's good. That's good. Alright, so what do I do against Jund? This seems good. This seems good, and some amount of this stuff is probably good. Rest in Peace is great against Ren and 6. So I probably want to cut some number of X1 creatures to dampen the power of Ren and 6. Yeah, a Wrath of God effect would be fine. I don't think I'm supposed to go for Revokers. Falls into the same X1 problem. It's also an artifact for Tarmogoyf reasons. I think I'll probably cut about 2 Flicker Wisps. I think I'll probably cut about 2 Remorseful Clerics. Actually, this is probably a matchup where I'm supposed to, like, cut my Vials because, like, Jund is going to try to outvalue me, so my Vials might just be bad. I've been told that in Modern you frequently are willing to cut the Vials, whereas in Legacy it's like, no man, you can't get me to leave these behind. How many Rest in Pieces am I willing to run? The answer is either 2 or 3. I could run 3 and then leave another one of these in here. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, again, I'm no modern expert, but from the looks of things, this feels awful. Before I knew my opponent was Jund, I think it was correct to play the Thalia out that I did. But if I knew they were Jund ahead of time, I would have led on the Leonin Arbiter. And, like, then maybe I have a snowball's chance in that game. This card's great. I have a few too many lands, but, like, 2 of them are utility lands. So I think all in all, that's okay. Thoughtseize punching a hole in this hand is really gonna suck, though. Opponent is mulligan to 6. Yeah, usually and always are different things, though, right? Nice. I have shenanigans incoming. Yeah, F this card. I think my opponent has Abrupt Decay, since they like played out this Tarmogoyf, so I think my Rest in Peace is going to get Abrupt Decay, and then my opponent's going to attack in. So I think I want to leave Restoration Angel as an Ambush Viper. I mean, 95% of the Magic that I play, literally, is Legacy. Legacy is awesome. They did that last game. Boo. Alright, no attack into my Restoration Angel. Now I can get pretty cute with what I'm doing. I'm not sure if I want the Thalia in play or the Giver of Runes more. I think I want the Thalia in play more. Yeah, I mean, it's not like you can't do it. It's just way harder than it needs to be. Alright, so we Flicker Wisp the Resto. We come to end step. We Resto the Flicker Wisp. Use the ability. Yes, we flicker wisp. Let's get that tireless tracker out of there and not give them some cards. Get out. So my rest in peace is gone. Nice. Am I attacking with my Thalia? I think I'm attacking with my Thalia. Okay, so let's see. So if I Restoration Angel my Flicker Wisp, flicker my Restoration Angel, Flicker Wisp, the Tireless Tracker, that ends up being pretty sweet. So let's do that. Restoration Angel, the Flicker Wisp. That's immediate. Yes, you come back. She's another permanent. She's my Restoration Angel. Yeah, this is stupid. I have so much control over my permanents. Like, I have 9 power in the air. My opponent's dead in the air. If they remove one of my flyers, that means the Giver of Runes lives and protects the other things. Alright, yeah, so you can Fatal Push Thalia, kill my Flicker Wisp, and still be facing down a ton of stuff. Let's draw a card here first, and then make a decision. A Remorseful Cleric, okay. That makes me want to, I guess, kill the Renin 6. Because, like, it's just one more flyer that they're going to have to answer. At the same time, just, like, crashing in for 6 with Giver of Runes up is pretty good. Let's take another redraw. Another Giver of Runes. Yeah, maybe I ignore the Renin 6 and just, like, go at them. I think that's got to be correct. Oh yeah, you're right. Like, it's still 6. Yeah. If the clock's the same and I still have a good degree of protection up, it's probably just better to do it this way. The Tarmogoyf turns into a real big boy, for what it's worth. That is not going to be good enough, friend. All right, so we go to another game. Rest in Peace was awesome there. Does anything change when I'm on the draw instead? My Thalia gets worse on the draw. Still think 3 copies of Rest in Peace is probably enough copies of Rest in Peace. And I think I like how I've boarded. Whack submit. I'm living in Shelby, North Carolina. I like it so far. You know, I've been here for a little over a week. And like I've mostly been at the apartment. You know, I've gone out to, you know, go to the store and go out to dinner once or twice. I haven't done too much exploring yet. So, you know, once I start working and I get out more and I meet some people, I'll have a better feel for the place. But I like it well enough. Seems like a great hand. Giver of Runes is annoying against versus removal. Like we have Rest in Peace to shut off their graveyard synergies. This will be a keep. A Tarmogoyf, you say? I kind of think I'm supposed to put some degree of squeeze on their mana rather than, like, immediately run out the Rest in Peace. So since they don't have access to red yet, I think I'm going to play my Arbiter. Yeah, so like they played the Baron more tapped so that they could play the Tarmogoyf on 2. So there's literal no downside to me blocking with Arbiter, right? Like, I block, I make them do something. If they say, like, decay my Giver of Runes, I give Arbiter pro-green. Well, I guess they could have, like, a Fatal Push. Yeah, you can have your points. I'd rather Fatal Push this than the Arbiter. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Smells like Abrupt Decay. So how cheeky do I get? Because I can play this Ghost Quarter, attack, and then if they go to remove this, I just get to Ghost Quarter them. And I think I'm going to squeeze their mana a little more by playing a Thalia here. Which, if they have Decay up, it forces them to use the Decay right here, and then I just get the Ghost Quarter on their Overgrown Tomb. Nice, nice. So they're ignoring this effect. Okay, so that means I can't Ghost Quarter them right now. That's fine. And then you Lightning Bolt that now. Yep, that's fine. Ooh, wow, that's a great draw. So I can knock them right back off red now. We got a good thing going here. And the best part is, like, we have Rest in Peace as a follow-up. Ah, enjoy your tapped red land, fool. Does this deck play a basic mountain? Because that's a very important question right now. Okay, it does play a basic mountain. It's a shame. So I think I just hold up all my bullshit for a turn and play my Restoration Angel. End of their turn, then play Rest in Peace. It's a little awkward if they have a Ren in 6, though. So, like, maybe it's not that awkward if they have a Ren in 6. Oh, I'm very aware of that interaction. Sick. Yeah, life is pretty good. I'm not going to use this path right now, but this Rest in Peace resolving is absolutely disgusting. And they can't even, like, decay it right now because of the Arbiter. Alright, opponent, you're at 5, and I have a Rest in Peace in play. Good luck. Bloodbraid, spin the old wheels. Inquisition of Kozilek. And they concede, and we win. What was going to be a very, very difficult match. Super happy with that win. Yeah, so I got a 4-1 with a very similar list, I think 2 nights ago. Arbiter plus Ghost Quarter is pretty good. I mean, I've played with my fair share of Wasteland and Strip Mine. I like those cards. We curve Thalia into Thalia. Keep. Yeah, I don't think this is like the most competitive modern deck or anything like that. But I think this is good enough for me to like take to an FNM and have some fun with. Alright, we can't lose this one. I fucking hate losing to Merfolk more than any other deck in existence. Not an exaggeration. I hate the fish people. And unfortunately, my hand really sucks against the fish people. Yes, more than elves. Fuck the fish people. This is actually a pretty good draw. It opens up some of my stuff later to being significantly better. Yes. Because when you lose to Merfolk, you're losing to a bad deck. But when you lose to Elves, you're losing to a good deck. You see, that's the difference. I said Elves was a good deck. So it seems like they have like another 2-mana Lord. I guess I have to take this hit. And then play Thalia Heretic Athar and try to put up a first strike wall. It's possible that I should play Blade Splicer here instead, but this is really annoying for Vial-based decks. Oh, neat. So if I would have blocked, I would have lost first strike. I see. Huh. Does this deck play like Spreading Seas? And I'm gonna get like just savaged by all their things being unblockable? Because it kind of feels like that's gonna happen. Yeah, there we go. So this exact draw was the reason to play Blade Splicer previously, although it doesn't really matter. So like I can remove this and then take still lethal. So this is other Merfolk. So I'll take 3, 4, 5. Yep. So the only way I live is if I flicker my own Ghost Quarter. I think that's like my singular out here. Well, we gotta beat them. We can't lose to the fish people. Fuck. Alright. So I can Ghost Quarter Mutavault, I can block 2 of these and still take lethal here. You have more? Fuck! Alright, let's bring in a pile of removal. Fuck the fish people. Alright. On thin ice in... could consider Revokers. Could consider Gideon to just make a chump blocking army. Thalia is really not good against this sort of deck. Arbiter not good against this sort of deck. So like this is something I don't really love, and this is something I also don't really love. I think Thalia is worse. I'm just taxing so few spells for my opponents since they're mostly creatures. I think these need to come out. These need to come in. And then I think I trim some of these. This leaves me a little slow, but I have 8 1-mana removal spells, and we'll see if that's enough. Mulligan? Like, I don't have removal. This is good at buying time. This is just so slow. This will be a keep, and I'll ship back one of the Field of Ruins. The thing I don't like about this hand is that my white source hurts me. Damn. I just got rid of that. And note that since this is another, holding this back does nothing to help me out. Alright, now it's worth holding this back to protect this stuff. And because, like, realistically, creatures are going to start coming down off that vial. Alright, yeah, you just get... Yep, you got it. I've played a little bit of the Modern Elves deck. And by the Modern Elves deck, I mean the Modern Elves deck of, like, 2 years ago. Ugh, that is rough. May end up ghost quartering that to get a white source here. Never mind. Skilled. I think I'm willing to ship with both of these. And if my opponent vials something in, I'll just path it. Ugh. That is gross. Yeah, I think I'm just going to give up my Blade Splicer here. I'd rather get a Lord than that. I thought like I was going to get ambushed by a Lord. Yeah, when I play elves... yeah, sure, that's fine. Well, I guess I could deny them a card by ghost quartering that. And it gives me my second white source. I am in for that. Yeah, I imagine the matchup is not great for me. Gonna aggressively trade here. If my opponent vials in a lord, I get to path to exile it. Fairy Conclave? Yeah, let's get rid of that. Yeah, I definitely think our opponent is favored in this matchup. Like they have the bigger bodies. Their deck is lower to the ground, and they can make all of their creatures unblockable. Like the reason why D&T tends to win this match in Legacy is because like you have the equipment package to go over them when the game goes late, but I don't have access to that here. That's a pretty okay draw. I will make a knight. If my opponent's hand is full of gas, though, this probably is not enough. Like, if they can bounce my token and play a lord or something like that, like, I'm just going to get run over. Spreading Seas. Rough. I got a 2/2 knight out of my planeswalker. And now I'm going to take a bajillion D damage. So everything but this attacks, and they're unblockable. I take 9, and I get 1 turn to draw an answer to this, in which case I still have like their 3 cards to stare down. We lost to the fish people. The stream is a disaster. Womp womp. I will say I hate losing to Legacy Merfolk way more. Because like with Legacy Merfolk, like they had to make the decision to play Merfolk in the format as a starting point. This is why Stoneforge Mystic needs to be unbanned, because the good white creature deck can't beat up the bad blue creature deck. See where you're going with that, Lesser Mouse Deer. I will be keeping this hand. We have some good mana denial elements and some good like mid-rangey elements. Let's see what's going on. Do I get more Jund in this format? I was told there'd be zombies. Jund's not a popular deck, right? Oh, it is popular? Okay. Ren and 6 brought it back. Okay, that's understandable. Hmm. So I could Field of Ruin them and take them off a land, but it might just be better to like play Thalia Heretic Cathar or Blade Splicer here. Yeah, I think I play Thalia Heretic Cathar here. Like, just keep the squeeze going. Okay, I just don't hear anyone talking about Jund. No, the field is symmetrical searching, right? So I have my own arbiter to think about. It doesn't get me a painless white source. Not really. Four, five, tapped Tarmogoyf. So I can play Leonin Arbiter to make it so that this Verdant Catacombs, like, literally can't find mana. But I think it's time to play the Blade Splicer. If they spend 2 of their mana to get another land out, I think I end up coming out ahead here. And I can, like, Flicker Wisp their Tarmogoyf out of the way, and then crash in with a bunch of stuff. Alright, Lightning Bolt that. That land's still tapped. That has to get a basic if you want to use this mana now. A Scavenging Ooze. Well, that's not a bad draw. Oh, do you have something else, too? Oh, no, you're just going to eat now. Alright, so I flicker this out of the way. You take 3, 6, 7, go to 5. It hurts! I didn't actually do map to see if I died to Ravaging Ravine. Or Raging Ravine. So 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. I guess there's worlds where I could die to that. No, I still have Flicker Wisp to block. Why did my opponent play out that last card? Okay, so do I have guaranteed kill? All I need to do is push 2 points of damage, and I have a guaranteed kill. So by attacking with everything, Golem and Thalia Heretic Cathar get blocked. Actually, no, the Scavenging Ooze can eat some stuff. So I don't have it guaranteed this turn. Let's guarantee it next turn by playing Giver of Runes, though. I can field the Ravine later. I'm not worried about dying on the backswing here. So let's just take the 3 in the air here, put my opponent to 1. They can go back up to 3 by eating the 2 creatures in the graveyard. And then I should very handily have this taken care of from there. So I guess all I need to do is like make 1 block so I don't die to lightning bolt. So I just need to make sure that I have 2 3-power things left back in order to guarantee a kill. But if I put 1 more body into the graveyard, then they can eat it with Scavenging Ooze. But I have a whole bunch of bodies to throw back. Yeah, I think I just chump block the Ooze here. That puts them to 4 life, but I have a billion attackers that crack back. I think that's my line. So like now if they have a single target removal spell, I just win. Yeah. Alright, so what did we do before? In, and I went with 3 of these in. Oh, 1 sec, my girlfriend just got home. I thought you were working till 5. You can do whatever out here. I'm just going to keep going for a little while.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, she got home way earlier than I expected. Okay, so what did I do before? I ended up trimming some X1s, right? So I think I trimmed 2 Flicker Wisps before, trimmed my Ether Vials, and then I probably trimmed a Thalia or something like that to round it out. Yeah, I would definitely consider Black-White Eldrazi Texas. I really need a second land to make this hand work. And, like, basically, if I keep this hand, I'd be keeping it on the strength of Rest in Peace, and if I get Inquisition or Thought Seized, I just think it's no good. This is a much better hand. I'll be keeping this. I think Remorseful Cleric is the least useful card here. Seems to me like this deck is going to be way better when it's on the play, for what it's worth. Like, a lot of the cards, like Arbiter and Thalia, are just so strong on the play, and they lose punch on the draw. Tarmogoyf's fine. I think I need to path that immediately. So, like, well, maybe I don't need to path it immediately. If I path it immediately, I'm basically saying, like, I'm not going to fight the mana denial thing that hard right now. I don't think my Arbiter is very likely to live and, like, set up the dream where I can both path to exile and Ghost Quarter on my turn 3. I don't think that's super likely to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and take this awkward line. But I think it's more important for me to just, like, curve out into these creatures. Well, I did enable that Lily, which is unfortunate. I think Ghost Quarter is going to be my discard for turn. And I think I'd like to play Thalia Heretic Cathar so blockers can't get in the way. There's a world where I'm supposed to just, like, discard my Thalia, though. And, like, keep this for the Raging Ravine. Yeah, actually, I am going to do this, because if something goes wrong and this gets removed, it's much better to, like, Blade Slicer and Ghost Quarter. Yikes. Goodbye, Path to Exile. I hardly knew thee. My opponent has white, too? Is that just going to be for, like, some weird sideboard cards, like Stony Silence or something like that? Good lord, okay. See, this is why I'm not playing D&T in Legacy. Why? Why do you have so many things? Oh, shit. Shit. I got a mana. I could have gotten the Plague Engineer off the battlefield. Oh, that's super tilting. Yeah, that was so bad of a misplay. Like, I am very actively upset about that. Yeah, now my opponent minuses. Like, we could be at parity right now, but we're not at parity. And it's so relevant. Tilt. I'm still obviously very much not favored, but it is what it is. So is it just going to filter their draws and make them hit gas? Bad news. Bad news. Well, the good news is their Inquisition misses. Okay. I drew a land. And it'd be real great if I killed this Plague Engineer. Bloodbraid into Fatal Push. Boy, that's a disaster. So I trade a Knight Ally here. And then lose my Gideon. That is super unfortunate in every possible way. Yeah, I think this is the end. Like if I had Path to Plague Engineer, they would have had more mana, but I would have had a chump blocker for the Bloodbraid, and I could have kept my Gideon alive for another turn. I would have lost to that just as handily, though. Yikes. Somewhat frequently. Not as frequently as I use Ghost Quarter. Like, Ghost Quarter is definitely the better of the two land destruction options. Keep. Hand is gas. Has a powerful hate card. It has a piece of mana disruption. It has multiple things that are going to generate an obscene amount of value as the game goes long. Like, very happy with how this is looking. I mean, this is what I'm playing right now. I don't have any recent experience with the Eldrazi and Taxes list. But seems totally fine to me. So the question is, like, do I just Auriok Champion now, or do I Rest in Peace now? I think I just play the Rest in Peace. Like, the Auriok Champion is a big pain in the butt, and, like, the earlier I stick it, the better. But if my opponent has a second discard spell, I really want this Rest in Peace in play. Yep, like super happy I took the line that I did. So now they'll take the Gideon in all likelihood, because it threatens the most potential damage to this game over time. Yeah. I am personally a very big fan of Restoration Angel. Like, the things that allows you to do with Flicker Wisp are really stupid. So thinking about it a little more now, I wonder if it's a mistake to bring this in because of Plague Engineer. Yeah, we're just going to keep jamming Blade Splicers until my opponent dies, I think. Like, if I ever get on the back foot, I'll be really glad to have this, but... Hmm. Because I have to play Modern locally on paper if I want to play Paper Magic. So I should play a little online to at least, like, get some idea of what's going on with the format. Boogler, if you're going to be constructive to my chat, you're welcome to stay, but if your comments like that continue, I don't need you here. Just FYI. I think this is a fine time to just emblem. Yeah, I recently moved and there's no more legacy near me. I think using the emblem and like Gideon Plus to attack probably end up in very similar spots. Let's Gideon attack. All right, my opponent is at 1. What do you think they'll say to another Blade Splicer? You think they'll like that? Don't think they will. Okay, so how do you beat Jund? Draw like that. Our opponent missing a land drop really helped us, I'm sure. Like, if they got to start deploying things like Liliana's and Bloodbraid Elves, like, they totally could have gotten back in that game, but we got them stuck. So if you want to take a look at the deck, you can click the Cardboard Live extension that is on screen, and then you can hover over and see everything that's going on there. It's the set of cards on the left-hand side. Oh, yeah, no problem. Mulligan. Easy. Easy keep now. I think it's between throwing back the Ether Vial and throwing back the Blade Splicer. I think since I'm not guaranteed to hit my third land drop, I'm going to throw back Blade Splicer number 3. Okay, so I assume this is some sort of like Scape Shift-esque deck. Amulet Titan. Okay. I imagine my land destruction stuff is going to be pretty sweet versus their little bounce lands. I mean, even Flicker Wisping the Girl Turf is kind of sweet. But this card's obnoxious. Merfolk? Jeebus, okay. Less so now. Is this like a deck, or is my opponent playing something wonky? Like, is this traditional Amulet Titan? Okay, this is admittedly pretty cute. So the way I win this is my opponent just like never finds a payoff card and just like plays lands forever. Oh god, okay. You got the 3-for-1 and shut down my mana production. That is no good for me. Flicker Wisping these is a lot less appealing now because whenever a land enters, you know, they do things. Like I have to hope for no payoff card because I can't beat something like a Primeval Titan right now. A Summoner's Pact. I wonder what that'll fund. What's the problem? They didn't make it uncounterable. Could have gotten them with a Spirit Guide into Force of Will. So now they can pick up that Slayer's Stronghold using their bounce land, activate it, give that haste. Alright, I think I've seen enough here. But I'm kind of curious what lands they get now. Like, if there's other utility lands that they have too, I really need to know about them. Field of the Dead, okay. Oh. Okay, this is bad. If you control 7 or more lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Alright. We can concede to that. That's fine. So, sideboard does not appear to be well equipped to deal with this. Our main deck has Remorseful Cleric, though, which is pretty good. And, like, we have the land destruction stuff. I may want to consider playing on Thin Ice to, like, nug some of the smaller creatures. Path to Exile doesn't necessarily seem amazing, although it stops, like, a Titan from getting in there the turn is played. So if there's something that's bad, I should consider this, but otherwise, like, the stuff that's here isn't doing anything in this matchup. I don't know that I want to go up to, like, 4 of these or anything, but some might be acceptable. Like, over a couple of Remorseful Clerics or something. Yeah, what if I trim, like, 2 of those and play 2 on Thin Ice? That seems okay. I would like to play first. I want to keep that. But let the record show that I'm not particularly thrilled about it. A plant. Sure. I accept your plant. I'm just saying, if I draw an Arbiter, it is going to be disgustingly good. So I think I'm going to cash this in immediately. Draw a card, see if it's Arbiter. It is not Arbiter, but that is a good draw nevertheless. Over time, it means that I have the potential to, like, Ghost Quarter and, say, Arbiter in the same turn. Alright. You get to redeploy some lands and sort of, like, break parity with what I had going on now. That's kind of annoying. I went from really having them locked down to being behind. I need to get that out. Unfortunately, the damage has been done by it. I should have technically done this first, but you know. Center's tapped, right? I've already played a land. So I think in their upkeep, I'll knock this off. See if I get punished by them having a red spell. Yeah, I do. But I think it's more important for that land to enter tapped. Well, this is a disaster. So I'm going to try to flicker with my Ghost Quarter, then Ghost Quarter this. I don't think that's going to work because I think my opponent is probably going to ghost quarter my ghost quarter. Yep. Use the ability, yes. Get this. And I think I need to save my Path to Exile for like a Primeval Titan or equivalent rather than hitting the Azusa. So I'm going to let them pick out their lands before they know that I have the Path to Exile. Feel rewarded by my lines. Sea Cloud, thank you very much for following. As well as King Makarg, thank you as well. Hope you're enjoying the content. So they have a billion mana. Let's see if they have something to do with it. If the answer is yes, I'm in trouble. Oh, so they just get another Primeval Titan? Well, that's pretty busted. So now they get to attack and get the double strike land and hit me for 16, right? How am I beating that? Don't think I am. Oh no, they just get Field of the Dead. And this isn't legendary, right? So they can just like make another one of those. Oh, but they have one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or is it 7 other? Oh yeah, there we go. It feels like Dredge now. All right. That was rough. Let's see if we can round this out with turn it into a positive finish. Maybe I should have mulliganed more aggressively. But I felt like a hand with like the Ghost Quarter and Thalia Heretic Cathar was probably good enough on 6. Maybe this is sort of like Legacy Post versus Death and Taxes, in that if they have a decent hand, they just go over your mana denial unless you get them early. That may be the case here. This is an okay hand. I'm not really disruptive, but I don't think this is the sort of hand that you throw back. God, are we playing against Jund again? Just like the Mono Jund League. That was about the best possible draw. Well, they already know about this, so might as well throw it out there. Alright, opponent. Do you have a removal spell immediately? You probably do, because you're Jund. Oh, you're not Jund. Some sort of like Mardu Pyromancer deck? Yeah. Which one of their secondary colors is more important? So black is probably discard and removal. White is probably just removal. So I think I take the black. I wonder if we're just going to like mise this game just based off like the cat and the ghost quarter. Yeah, we mised the game off a single wasteland. Good stuff. I don't actually know what my opponent's deck looks like, but I imagine these cards are good. Mardu Pyromancer Modern. Also, so there's some graveyard synergy here. Young Pyromancer, Seasoned Pyromancer, and Bedlam Reveler all deal with graveyard stuff. Oh, and they have Lingering Souls as well? Oh, maybe I do want Rest in Peace. So I think these are going to be less good than I thought. And these are going to be better than I thought. So some of the X1 flyers are going to line up poorly against Lingering Souls. I'm also not going to want 4 Rest in Peace. Like, I'm probably going to want 2 or 3 Rest in Peace, which I think is going to be way more useful than, say, Remorseful Cleric. Which I think that's going to be the cut against Lingering Souls, despite the fact that it flies over other stuff. I think just cutting X1 flyers probably gives me the best chance at invalidating Lingering Souls, and then otherwise I try to like just grind with like Blade Splice or Resto. This hand looks great. I don't know that this is going to be a good matchup for me. I think this is like kind of going to be like Jund in that my opponent has the ability to value me out relatively easily. But at least I have a bunch of must-answer cards in hand. So I have that going for me. Right, what do you have going on, friend? A Thoughtseize. This will give me a lot of information about the rest of your hand, luckily. I don't think I need to slam the rest in peace immediately. Let's get this cat in here. And I will want to protect that. So now if they discard something that has graveyard-based value, I'm priced into using the rest in peace. And perfectly happy to path to exile that while they can't search. I don't think I want to attack in, like, let them double block and then let my Arbiter eat a removal spell. I think I'm just going to, like, sit back and protect this because my opponent doesn't have profitable attacks. Nice. That lets me empty my hand. And again, I don't want to trade this for 2 elementals. I have 6 power on board, but it's not necessarily 6 power that's going anywhere immediately. That is an annoyance. Let's take a redraw. That is very annoying. But they might trade my Golem for it. I don't think I'm going to take my redraw right now. I'll probably take the redraw at their end step, though. 2/1/1 flyers, even without the other side, is kind of annoying at this point. Oh god, why did I play that into the Plague Engineer? I'm dumb. Dumb, 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 dumb. Yeah, they're just going to successfully go wide of me here. My misplay really didn't help, but I feel like I was done anyway. Let's get that out of there. I'm sure you have a basic planes. I guess I could have done this during their turn. All right, not playing the tightest here, folks. I also didn't like pay for my own arbiter. Good stuff, Bill. Yeah, drawing the mono lands here. Also not the strongest. I also think my opponent is probably at the point where they can just shove all their creatures sideways over 2 turns and kill me. Yeah, there we go. Yikes. Well, that was a disaster. Yeah, I can Blade Splicer, create 2 bodies, and then still die. Alright. Very, very dead. Let's try another game. Now that I have a little more information, I know that they have those Plague Engineers on human. Like, my Auriok Champions look a little bit worse, although I still think they're quite good. But I might want a couple more supplementary removal spells over something else. Like, maybe let's trim a Thalia, even though it's very good on the play. Like, that Plague Engineer is just naming human. So I need to decrease the number of natural hits that they have with it, although this comes at the cost of some of the power of my deck. Alright, but we have a Thalia anyway. We have a very, very strong curve of like Thalia into Splicer into Restoration Angel right now. Alright, our hand got considerably worse without the Thalia, but at least we can hopefully still fight a mid-range fight. Like, we probably lose a Blade Splicer here, but then I get to play another and, like, potentially blink it with Resto. Alright, I lose my things. How many does Bedlam Rattler need? Costs 1 less for each instant and sorcery in the graveyard. So it costs 8 initially, so right now it actually costs 4, so they could just Bedlam Reveler on their turn. I think I'm still gonna Arbiter rather than slam the rest in peace. Just sets me up better for later. It's kind of annoying. It's very poor timing. So let's rest in peace, junk the value from the graveyard, and then we'll on thin ice the Young Pyromancer. So as long as I can hit another land drop, I have the bigger body here. All right, and I do. So now I have Restoration Angel, which is better than their board. I am going to block. If they have Bolt, they have Bolt. But I need to call that bluff if it is a bluff. All right, bluff successfully called. Nice. Now let's path to exile that, get it out of the way, play my Blade Splicer, Resto attacking for 3. I technically should have attacked in with the Restoration Angel first for like Fatal Push reasons. That's not really what I wanted. That's pretty good. So how much of this am I attacking in with? Like, I guess the question is, like, am I the aggressor? I think I am the aggressor. Because, like, they have lightning bolts for reach. I think this gets a chump block with an elemental. I am wrong. That is a lot of tokens. Potentially not getting through on the ground anymore. So holding my Blade Splicer back means that the Young Pyromancer won't attack in future turns. I probably need to take the 1 damage here. And then hit something off of this. Path to Exile. Well, that might mess with my opponent. If I attack with Restoration Angel, they just take it, go to 4, and then they would alpha me. I could block 2 2/2s, then there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage coming in, and I'd just be dead on board. But that may allow me to kill with a crackback. So I attack in with Resto. It has to be like lethal on board for me to make the attack. So I would block Young Pyromancer, Seasoned Pyromancer, and take 6 damage and die if I don't have anything. Yeah, so I've got to make the attack to incentivize them to go for the all-out attack. And then I can win on the crackback if they don't draw a spell. They've drawn a spell. Alright, so now they see what I've got going on, which is unfortunate. Because now they'll know not to make the bad attack. And they got a bonus elemental out of it. So how much are they willing to attack with? That is the question right now. Alright, so they're just going in with the flyers. So I will win if I draw Gideon. Gideon, make emblem. Nope. So now I probably just lose, right? It's worth playing land and then passing the turn to represent Restoration Angel. But if my opponent turns it all sideways, I'm dead. So I take 2 guaranteed in the air. Oh, alright, my opponent sees what's going on. Concede. Alright, so that was fun. Still don't like Modern as much as Legacy, but this deck seems to have some legs. I think we got kind of some unfortunate pairings in that we played against like 3 basically Jund decks, but we got 2 of the 3 wins, so I'm happy with that. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the content today. If you do, consider following. It's mostly Legacy on this channel, although I'll occasionally be playing some Modern D&T now. Cheers, folks. Let me see if any of my friends are streaming. I'm going to turn you over to Anurag for some Legacy action.